Hello and welcome once again to my YouTube channel from the tiny confines of my Mitsubishi Express van. A few other little nuggets of information and possibly things that might actually help you live a little bit better in such tiny spaces. One thing that I found as I'm crawling around in this tiny van is it's having a hard time on my knees. So what I've actually decided to purchase are these little interlocking pad things here. These things you often see in gyms and what have you. They come up locked together in like a puzzle formation, and they just provide extra kind of padding for your knees as you're kind of crawling in and about the actual confines of the van. Another little kind of interesting kind of nugget of information that I've actually kind of picked up along the way that somebody actually suggested to me was a anti-vandal wrench for faucets in public places. You often have these taps that don't actually have the turning kind of function on the actual top of the tap to stop vandals, I guess, and wayward children and idiots from actually just turning them on and leaving them on. Well, one way that you can actually bypass this to actually access water which isn't normally accessible to the public is to actually buy a little cross-shaped wrench that has different fittings on the actual end, so you can then access these somewhat inaccessible sources of water for your use, whether to kind of to use for cooking, for washing, or whatever. Another little kind of tip for this is also to have one of these, which are pretty cool. They make them in different things these days, and this is like a silicon kind of a collapsible bucket, which saves so much space when you actually. Space is the ultimate kind of thing when you're actually in a van, and it just collapses down to kind of like a disc-like formation. You can get them in cups. I've even seen kettles actually made in these things as well. So they actually do take the heat, and they don't obviously, well, supposedly don't pass any flavour or any of the nasty chemicals you sometimes get in plastics and what have you. Another good thing to have is if you're boiling water, as I'll show you how I actually get past it myself, is to actually have a couple of thermoses. Now these things here, incredibly useful, because when you actually see, these are actually quite rugged ones. I've actually got them strapped down. These things here, these tie down straps, are a lifesaver in a van, because you can strap everything down and stop it from like flying around the place. As you can see, the gas bottle there is also strapped down, which you don't want like a volatile gas and in a pressurised container banging around in the back of the van when you're taking a corner, for obvious reasons. But yeah, the thermos, once you actually boil the water, which I'll show you my setup in a minute, allows you to kind of have that stored water and that energy kind of source all day without having to actually do it on the spot if you actually need it for teas, coffees, soups, whatever you're actually kind of deciding to have. As you can see here, this bundle of sleeping bags, when I'm actually not using during the night, I've actually got piled up on my esky, or icebox, or whatever, cooler box, and I actually have an ice maker, although I haven't managed to, even with the wing nuts and the cables with various inverters of 600 and 800 watt, be able to manage to actually kind of have it in the van. It just doesn't seem to function. Even locking down the actual the actual wires on it doesn't seem to be sufficient for the amount of power that's actually needed. But it isn't an issue, because this is a tiny van and I haven't got a lot of space. But how I actually overcome it, I'll show you in a minute, by just basically buying ice from the shops and topping up every now and again, because unusually, unlike most van dwellers, I'll just shut this up, I do actually have a base of operation, so I can actually plug into an area, a shed that I actually can manage to keep hold of and store some stuff in, and it has access to electricity, so I can boil the kettle, as you can see here, and underneath is said ice maker. So every now and again, if need be, I can top up. I mean, it's not too expensive to actually kind of purchase ice. It's $3 or $4 and stuff like that. But you know, it's always quite good to actually have that on standby as well. These things are actually also quite good as well. No buzz mark, I'm not getting any kind of kickback off them, but these are kind of little thermos bottles which you can actually put your tea and coffee into. Very, very useful. Just they fit into regular cup holders. They're totally kind of watertight, and just I've put a carabiner on the top just because it makes it a little bit like more useful for you, the areas you can actually stick it and stuff. And yeah, not too bad at all. Like you put a hot coffee in there in the beginning of the day, and apart from actually having the thermos, anything with insulation is your friend in a van, to either keep the things cool or to keep things hot. So any function or any kind of device that actually allows you to do that, just get hold of it, test it out. These ones, like I said, superb kind of buyers. They come in various sizes. I probably kind of urge you to go the larger rather than smaller. I did actually buy one small one, but the larger ones seem to kind of work a little bit better. So anyway, a few things there for you to work on, and yeah, I hope this is of some use to you.